Boom, we are on live tonight. Good evening, Inspiration Nation. I am Minister Marcus, and this is what I call Maximize Your Life. What I do every Wednesday is I try to encourage the people who walk with God. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I see you on there. How you doing? It's great to see you guys tonight. Tonight, I hope to encourage your faith tonight. Um, we're going back to a portion of what we read last week, and so I'm not really going to take up a lot of time. But what I love to do is I love to just give us things from a biblical perspective. I think a lot of times we don't take advantage of the things that are in the Bible, to the point to where there are so many lessons and so many principles and things that people have written books about, and the origin of them comes straight from the Bible. But I don't think enough people know that. So what I want to do is I want to go straight to it. We're going to Second Chronicles tonight, 34:25 to 33. Oh yeah, you see the TGM shirt? Yeah, I see. All right, we're going to Second Chronicles 34. And tonight the topic is it's not really a topic, but I hope I can touch on reforming lifestyle habits. Reforming lifestyle habits. Sometimes we do things right that are counterproductive for our lives, for our forward progress, and we still stay stuck in them. But tonight I hope to kind of deal with that. We're going to Second Chronicles chapter 34, verse number 25, and I'm going to read through verse number 33, and it kind of reads like a story. So I want you to follow along and see if you can keep up with me. Okay. All right. Verse 25. For the people of Judah, Second Chronicles chapter 34, verse 25. And this is God talking through one of his prophets. For the people of Judah have abandoned me and worship pagan gods, and I am very angry with them for everything they have done. My anger will be poured out against this place, and nothing will be able to stop it. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. This is Big Green. I named my Bibles. You see it's kind of toe up a little bit. But this Big Green is the New Living Translation. All right. My anger will be poured out against this place, and nothing will be able to stop it. But go to the king of Judah who sent you to seek the Lord and tell him, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says concerning the message you have just heard. You were sorry and humbled yourself before God when you heard what I said against this people. You humbled yourself and tore your clothes in despair and wept before me in repentance. So I have indeed heard you, says the Lord. I will not send the promised disaster against this city and its people until after you have died and been buried in peace. You will not see the disaster I'm going to bring on this place. So they took her message back to the king. Then the king summoned all the leaders of Judah and Jerusalem, and the king went up to the temple of the Lord with all the people of Judah and Jerusalem, and the priests and the Levites, all the people from the greatest to the least. There the king read to them the entire book of the covenant that had been found in the Lord's temple. The king took his place of authority beside the pillar and renewed the covenant in the Lord's presence. He pledged to obey the Lord by keeping all his commandments, regulations, and laws with all his heart and soul. He promised to obey all the terms of the covenant that were written in the scroll, and he required everyone in Jerusalem and the people of Benjamin to make a similar pledge. As the people of Jerusalem did this, they renewed their covenant with God, the God of their ancestors. And this is the last verse, verse 33. So Josiah removed all detestable idols from the entire land of Israel and required everyone to worship the Lord their God. And throughout the rest of his lifetime, they did not turn away from the Lord, the God of their ancestors. All right. And so they're kind of like a story. When you get time, go back and read that, right? But I'm just going to start with the Book of Chronicles. The Book of Chronicles, some people, it's not real familiar. Not real familiar with Chronicles. If you pick it up and read it, it seems like a lot of dense, unnecessary information, right? And so most of the time for those type of books, a lot of people don't really read them because they seem real insignificant, right? And so but tonight I chose Chronicles. Well, number one, the story is not just in Chronicles and Kings, but I chose Chronicles because it shows the history of the nation through their lens through a lens of relationship with God. Like I like the way that the writer, he goes through the history, but he makes their viewpoint through a lens with their relationship with God. In other words, he's highlighting their connection to God as a means for their success. And so if you read through the Kings, you'll read, it says the kings who did right, who trusted God and did right in God's eyes. You'll notice that those kings enjoyed peace and success throughout their reigns, while the kings who experienced hardships and turmoil, it came because as a result of their lack for care of God's laws and the way that he wanted them to live their life. And so I love the Chronicles. One of the reasons that I love the Chronicles is because it's designed to show how much of a difference God makes in a person's life. And I want to stress that, right? Because a lot of times I think, especially in 2020, right? Most of the time, people discredit God because he's not portrayed in the right kind of way, right? And so one of the things I love about the Chronicles is that it's designed to show how much of a difference God makes in a person's life. And I love to say it like this. For a long time, I just went to church because I played the bass. I went to church because I played the bass. My grandfather was a pastor. My dad is a pastor. At that time, he was a preacher. And so it was just customary for me to go to church on Sundays. And so that's all I took it for. I took it for just going to church. But the thing is that the time came in my life where I became an adult and issues started to happen. Things started to actually go wrong in my life. And so at this point, the things that as custom, you start to try to put in practice. You start to look around and try to find things that's going to help you through whatever it is that you're going through. And one of the things that I noticed is that as much as I had went to church, prayer was not one of my solutions. Really seeking God or trying to find out what God had to say about the things I was dealing with was not at the top of my list at all when it came to dealing with issues. And I tried to make decisions on my own, or the way that I saw people making decisions or handling their different problems or issues or whatever. And I noticed, right, and this is not nothing spiritual, but this is just personal experience. I noticed that things didn't start getting better. They only got worse. And so most of the time what we do is we wait until things get to the rock bottom, right? We wait till things get as bad as they almost can possibly get. And then we turn to God, and then we start praying, or we start going to church and actually trying to hear what the preacher is saying, hoping that he'll say something that will kind of give you some clarity or direction or understanding as to what you're going through. And that started happening in my life. And then I started noticing, right, that when I would pray about something, it wouldn't just immediately happen all the time, but I would pray about something, right? And then I started to find answers or resources to the things that I prayed for. And it started to make sense, right? That the more I allow God to be God in my life, the more of a difference that God was able to make. And so I want you to say this after me. Say, God makes the difference. God makes the difference. I had to learn that, right? And it's not nothing, and I'm not trying to sound spiritual or, lifted up on the Holy Ghost when I say that, but it's like he made all of the difference in my life. And a lot of times you don't see that it's God that made the difference until things actually start to look up. And one day you actually think about it, right? And you like, dang, I did pray about that. Dang, I did ask God to reveal. Have y'all ever had this experience where you pray about something, you forgot you prayed about it, and then you get the answer, right? Is she cheating on me? Is he lying to me? Can I trust this person? Is this the job that I should take, right? Do I need to move? Do I need to leave? And you forget that you prayed about it, and then time goes by, right? And then something happens, and then boom, you end up somewhere else, and then it appeals to your mind, right? I did ask God to show me, was this person lying? I did ask God to show me, did I need this job? I did ask God, should I make this decision or not? And I want you to get that, right? Because God makes the difference. And I don't think that we give God enough credit in our lives because we're not taught, right? We're not taught. We're taught to go to church. We're taught church mechanics, right? But we're not taught to actually walk or make God's ways our ways, or to make what God cares about the things that we care about, or to live our lives according to God's morals and God's laws. We are not trained to do that. We're trained to go to church. And so I want us to understand this. that God makes the difference, and Chronicles is painted through the lens of a picture in connection to God for all of those people who did care about God's laws and God's morals. It served as a platform for them to build blessings and success, right? And so God makes the difference. And so I want to point out, right, that throughout the Bible, especially in Chronicles, that the activity of God, and I want us to get this in our lives, right? The activity of God is in direct correlation to human behavior. It's in direct correlation to human intentions and human actions. In other words, what you do affects how God moves or does not move in your life. I want to stress that, right? I want to stress that, but I don't want to put emphasis on being perfect, but I do want us to be conscious and aware that the things that you do or the things that you intend to do or your actions have the ability to move you under God's blessings and favor for your life or move you away from it. And I want to stress that, right? Because I don't think people have enough understanding, right, that your intentions matter, your actions matter, your behavior matters. It serves a purpose in whether or not you have a covering of your life. And I say covering, but when I say blessings and favor, I make it like this. There was a job that I had, right, and I had asked God to bless me with a job, and it was a good job, right, but the boss didn't like me. The boss, and I kid you not, the boss did not like me, right? But God gave me the job, but the boss didn't like me. But his boss loved me, so my immediate boss couldn't fire me. So in other words, that's what I call favor. So anytime and every time that my immediate boss tried to bring something against me, he couldn't move without his boss's approval. And so in that area, God had given me favor, right? And when I say favor, I want you to get behind the scenes things that God allows to turn in your favor. The things that you're not aware of that God makes turn in your favor, or that the door opens for you, is because he's giving you favor. And I want you to understand this. I want you to understand this, and I want you to say this. Say, my secret life matters. I want to stress that my secret life matters. The Bible says it like this, that the things that you pray in secret, the things that you do in secret, God sees in secret, but he rewards you openly. Look, I want you to get this, right? That your secret life matters. Nobody didn't see it, but God did. And that determines whether or not the door opens for you, or whether or not God, you know what? I've been seeing you struggling behind the scenes. They don't know. I've been hearing your prayers. They don't hear them, but I hear them. And then God just opens a door for you, or he blesses you with something. Your actions and your behavior have the ability to move you under God's blessing, under God's favor, or away from it. And that's why it's important to know that this King Josiah sought after God. He sought after God. He went after God, and God responded to his action of seeking. I want you to get this, right? We into 2020. We into 2020. And I want to stress the fact, right, that God does see your actions, and he does see your intentions, and he responds. I want to stress that, right, because it's 2020, and a lot of times we come out of the last year going into the new year, right, doing the same old things. And then we ended last week with this. What are you seeking after? What are you chasing after in your life? What are you trying to get? And here's the thing. The thing is that a lot of times we don't seek after God because we don't think he's that important. And when I say that, I don't want you to take it as, as a sign of disrespect. I know we all know that God is important, but when I say him important, I mean important enough to see how he wants you to handle a situation before you handle it. I kind of want to stress the importance of seeking God, because if Josiah had not sought God, he would not have known, right, that his actions and their actions as a nation was moving them away from God's blessing and away from God's favor. If he had not sought God, he would not have known. And here's the thing. Many don't see God because we don't view him in life as a guide. right? And so consequently, we fall into situations and circumstances that God could have directed us away from or directed you on how to handle it, but because you didn't seek him, right, you find yourself in a circumstance or a situation, right, that you can't see or understand how how to get out of it. I want to stress that the importance of seeking God for your life in 2020. I want you to get this, that when I start doing evaluations at the top of the year, at the beginning of the year, when I start doing my evaluations of the things that I accomplished the year before, or where was I successful at the year before? Once I started doing evaluations, it became clear, right, that a lot of those years, right, that I had wasted time. A lot of those years, I had wasted time. I had wasted effort with people, and get this, with people who were not beneficial for my life. I want to stress that, man. I want to stress that. When I started doing my evaluations, it started to become clear that some things that I had entangled myself with the previous year had got me no step closer to being more wealthy, more happy, more at peace, more progressive, making more money. I had entangled myself with things and people who were counterproductive to the things that I was trying to fix or put back together in my life. And here's the thing. The thing is that because we don't see God, we don't view him as a guide for our life, our lives end up counterproductive or unproductive because we entangle ourselves. We put so much effort and energy, right, and time into things that are not productive. And so I want us to understand that the importance of seeking God. I want you to get it that when you give, and this is what the text says is like, acknowledge him in all your ways and he'll direct your path. He can't direct what you do not acknowledge. He can't direct what you will not acknowledge. And it's the thing, if you don't acknowledge him, how can he direct you? Only he knows, right? And I like to say this, that he knows more about you than you know about yourself, which means he knows the things that you need to be investing your time, your energy, and your effort into. He knows the people that are right for your life. He knows the people that are wrong for your life. You think you know, but over time you realize, right, this person actually is not good for me. Imagine how many situations and circumstances, right, you could have avoided had you asked God, should I really do this? Show me, is this the right person? Show me, is this the right thing? Show me, is this the right job? Is this the right career? I need you to show me. In 2020, I want you to get used to doing this. God, is this right for me? I don't know about you. I got tired of going through unnecessary arguments with girl. Come on, man. We gonna argue about the same stuff. We gonna argue about the same. Come on, I got tired of having the same arguments. I got tired of seeing the same paychecks. I got tired of going through the same cycle of events in my life. I just got to the point where I need to see something different. And it's at this point that I start asking God, God, is this really worth my time? Is this really worth my, in 2020, let's make that a part of our, is this really worth it, God? Is this worth my time? Is this worth my effort? Is this worth my energy? I need you to lead me, right? I need you to lead me. I need you to show me something. I want us to get this, right, that God sometimes leads us in subtle thoughts or certain subtle nudges or ways, things that bring you to a different conclusion so that you make a different decision, or he brings your attention to something that you may not have seen before, right? And it changes your perception, which in turn changes your decision. I want you to get it, that God is a guide for your life, and it is God that helps you make the right decisions that ultimately guide your life into blessings and success. And I want to stress that it's 2020. Don't you want to see bigger paychecks? Don't you want to see a bigger bank account? Don't you want to actually live happy? I decided this: I'd rather be single and at peace than to just have somebody that constantly stirs up trouble and confusion in my life. I wanted to see something different. So I had to ask God. I took that 5 minutes of prayer time. God, is this right for my life? Is this right for my life? And Josiah was, and by seeking God, he was able to prevent the nation from suffering while positioning himself under God's favor. I want you to do this. Make seeking God's guidance priority for your life. Priority to seek God. All right, I'm moving slow. I may not get to everything, right? Because I want to stay within a certain time limit. But I want you to get this. In seeking God, Josiah realized that they had been living outside of God's will, and he decided to make a change. He decided to make a change. Oh God, look, he decided. Look, this ain't spiritual. This ain't shout around your living room right here. This is simple practicality. He realized that they had been doing something wrong, and he switched to do something right. Before I even get to the change, I want to point out that Josiah, as the king, is not too stubborn, right, to recognize his own error. He is not too immature to recognize his own mistakes. He is not too egotistical to admit that he got something wrong. And here's what I want to stress about this tonight. We saved, right? But we are too immature to say I was wrong. We saved, but we too egotistical, right, to say I handled that situation the wrong way, bro. My bad, right? We are. Come on. I want us to understand that I want us to do this progress in 2020. Progress. We too stubborn, right, to admit that maybe it wasn't everybody else. Maybe it was you, right? Maybe it was you. Maybe you are the look. I'm just marketizing for y'all tonight. I know some of y'all probably won't watch it next week, but I really want to help you. I see the time. I got you. I really want to help you. Maybe what has been preventing your life from moving forward, maybe it's you. Maybe I just want to put that in your mind. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's Come on, maybe it's your attitude. Maybe the reason why you haven't got the promotion is because you don't know how to talk to people, right? Maybe the reason why, come on, maybe it's you. Maybe the reason why you haven't seen the finances that you want to see. Maybe, come on, maybe it's you. Come on, say maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. I love that Josiah is a king, but he's humble enough to say, I was wrong and I need to change, right? And oftentimes, right, when you start talking about this forward process and forward progress and getting better and advancing in your life, right? I want you to get it. Right. Be careful what you pray for, because I want to go up in 2020. I want to see some different things this year. I want to go beyond where I went last year. I did some good stuff last year, but this year I want to go higher. I want to take my life to the next level. And I want you to understand it. When you start praying these prayers, God will show you the things about you that are preventing you from making forward progress in your life. He will show you the habits, right? He will show you the things that you are doing or not doing that is hindering you from making the progress that you want to make. But here's the thing. You have to be humble enough to accept it. Look, stop justifying when you're wrong. Justifying is just a line. You lying to yourself. You was wrong. You made the mistake, right? And it's time for you to what? Make some changes. Come on, say, I got to make some changes. I want you to look at your life right now. And in actuality, your life is the sum of your own choices. There is nobody to blame for where you are in life, for what you have in life, what you don't have in life, but you. And I want to stress that the only way we're going to go up in 2020 is if we acknowledge the truth. And the truth is that nobody made you spend your money on what you spent it on. You just spent it on what you, nobody made you do nothing that you did. You chose to do it. And here's what the text says. The truth shall make you free. The truth shall make you free. Free to grow. Free to make forward progress in life. Free to move forward from some things, free to let go of some things. Are you holding yourself back? Did you hold yourself back in 2019? Look, I just want to know this. Look, here's what I love. He don't just acknowledge his wrong. He don't just acknowledge that he made the mistake. He didn't just acknowledge that he was at fault. He didn't just recognize the error of his ways. He begins to move to correct them and change them. Come on. Come on, say change. Come on, say I gotta change. Come on, say I gotta change. If I want to go higher, I gotta change. Come on, if I want to make more money, I gotta change. Look, reforming life habits. Come on, say I gotta change. I want to make more money. So that means what? Yeah, you gotta change your spending habits, bro. You gotta change what you spending your money on. Go from buying to investing, right? Stop thinking buy, start thinking build, invest. Come on. If you want to see something different, you got to be ready to do something different. But I want you to hear me tonight when I say this. We're talking about reformation. I want to see some new things, right? If you want to see some new stuff, you got to change. I want my money to get bigger. Yeah, you're going to have to change, bro. You want your marriage to get better. You're going to have to change. You want your, look, and look, y'all may not believe me when I say this, right? But you married, right? And some of you may not have the patience to wait on the other person, but if you want your spouse to change, right? You change, right? I guarantee if you change, that will make the, come on. I had to learn this. Look, come on, say change. I got to change. Say, I'm changing some stuff this year. Yeah, I'm changing some stuff this year. I learned this. Look, I learned this, that I was asking God to do some things in my life. I was asking God to transform some things in my life, right? And I had to recognize this, that nothing was changing. Nothing. My situation wasn't changing. My circumstance wasn't changing. My issues wasn't changing. I see your time. Thank you. Nothing was changing. And then it occurred to me, maybe God is not trying to change your situation, but maybe God is trying to change you. Yeah, me. Maybe God wasn't trying to change my situations, but maybe he was using my situations to, I hope y'all get it. Maybe he was using my situations to change me. Why, Minister Marcus? Why? He used my situation to change me because when I changed my situation. But I had to change. Come on, say, I gotta change. I gotta change. I gotta change. Change will not come in your life until you are able to first see within yourself that the things you are doing or not doing are hindering your own personal and professional, possibly professional growth and development. The second thing you gotta do is stop making excuses and start making adjustments. The first thing you gotta do is see the things that you're not doing. See the areas that you're not growing, the things that you're not doing, the things that you are doing that's hindering your forward progress. You have to see those things about yourself. Number two, stop making excuses and start making adjustments. Stop making it. Look, I'm gonna conclude with that. Stop making excuses. Start making adjustments. You want to see your finances get bigger? Don't excuse how you handle your money. Adjust how you handle your money. You want to see some things get better in your life? Don't excuse your behavior. Adjust your behavior. I started doing this. I started changing and putting myself on a trajectory that my life could only go up. You may not see the, look, I said this last week, you may not see the effects of your change immediately, but over time, come on, over time, stop making excuses, start making adjustments. If you want to see different, you have to think different. You have to do different so you can be different and ultimately see different. So with that, man, Inspiration Nation, I hope I inspired you tonight. I hope I encouraged your faith tonight. Thank you for everybody that tuned in tonight. I will be posting this on our YouTube channel. It's called TGM Television. For all of you that are watching on Instagram and Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called TGM Television. All right, go to our website and see all of the great things that we are doing. The website is www.thegodmovement.com. If this blessed your life, share it so it can bless somebody else's life. So with that, I'm Minister Marcus. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Y'all have a blessed evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. See y'all later. Bye, YouTube.